So now that I feel that I'm fully back to making videos again, back from my vacation, getting resettled in back at home, I can finally tell you about my experiences on Caribbean Wi-Fi. Oh my fucking god, man. That shit was more fucked up than a YouTube order getting fucked by a dildo, man. I gotta say, it was absolutely atrocious. And I think one of my viewers actually said that he's already on Caribbean Wi-Fi. He knows exactly what the fuck I was going through. But I had a whole slew of videos that I had taped when I was down there. What I was doing was I was basically saving up some clips, and then I was already exporting them to an external drive because I didn't want to take up too much space with just, like, you know, bullshit on my PlayStation 4. So I would catch a clip after the day was over, or when I couldn't play because of fucking all the baboon errors. What I would do is I would go to the video section, clip it, and then I would save it to an external drive. For whatever fucking reason, now that I'm home, that external drive does not work. So the only clip that I didn't realize that I saved is what you're seeing in the background. Basically, me getting stuck in the fucking Gambit teleport a little bit later. You'll see it in a minute. You'll see what ends up happening to me in this fucking video. But in essence, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the x-ray machines break this fucking thing. I don't know if it's something to do with the airport security. I don't know if it was the heat, the cold. I have no idea. But essentially, the external drive that I used worked perfectly fine before I went down there. I saved everything to the external drive, perfectly fine, no issues. However, now that I'm home, when I plug the external drive into my laptop, I get this error message that says that it needs to be reformatted. If I reformat it, I'm going to lose everything on there. So I'm sort of stuck in a catch-22 here. Do I reformat something and lose the content anyway? Or do I kind of keep forcing it, hoping that the shit will come back one day? I don't know. But it seems like I'm not going to be able to show you all the footage that I got down there where all I was getting was fucking baboon errors. Oh, man. But you'll get an idea of what I went through. Basically, every time I played, there was always a message on the bottom that it was contacting Destiny 2 servers. For anyone that's played Destiny, you know that you kind of see that message every now and then. I would see enemies standing still. I would see teammates walking through walls. If I was playing the Crucible, I would see enemies in one spot and all of a sudden teleported like right next to me or whatever the fucking case is. And then finally I would get disconnected. I would get sent back to orbit, or I would get a black screen, and then I would get a message, baboon error. Sometimes it would reconnect me back into my activity. However, if you're playing something like Gambit or the Haunted Forest, essentially you're sort of fucking your teammates over. Gambit especially. Gambit playing 3 against 4 is a pain in the fucking ass. So I would get disconnected and thrown back into a room, and all of a sudden my team lost. We might have been up a little bit, but as soon as you're gone, you pretty much get fucked over anytime you're down one person. When I was playing the Haunted Forest, I was not able to get people to wave number 7, mainly because you would get disconnected. I would shoot enemies, and all of a sudden the enemies start standing still, and I'm like, oh, I know what's about to happen. Gonna go to orbit, gonna get the baboon error, and maybe I'll get reconnected to it. In addition to that error, there was also weasel error, anteater, pineapple. Oh god, you fucking name any goddamn fruit or animal, I was getting that kind of error message. Sometimes I would be able to reconnect back to the game. Most of the time, it would just disconnect me, and basically I was fucked. When I was down there, I actually would have decent connection at nighttime. I assume at that point people were going to bed, so when I was up till like maybe like 2, 3 in the morning, whatever the case was, yeah, I was finally having some decent connection. So I decided when I was down there to do my 3rd and final raid, and all I did was just the Riven checkpoint and the Queen's Walk. When I did Riven, I actually got disconnected from the group, and they were like, well, what the fuck, what happened to this guy? And sure enough, I reconnected right at the correct time when I needed to burn Riven down. Then we were doing the Queen's Walk. Luckily, the thing didn't select me all the way until the end. I was with a group that knew what they were doing. We got to the Queen's Walk all the way to the final walk. I was the last person that was going to be selected. However, everybody did exactly what they were supposed to do, so I never needed to carry the heart. The person who was held last was just about to get teleported out, made it to the end, and we were able to collect our loot just as I got disconnected. It did bring me back in, so I was able to actually collect my loot, but my god, man, that Caribbean Wi-Fi was fucking killing me. To come back now, play on a wired connection, oh man, you kind of really appreciate what you have when you have here in the United States. I feel sorry for those of you who are in the Caribbean and you're actually playing on Wi-Fi. I don't know how your wired connections are, but your Wi-Fi, man, holy shit, that was fucking atrocious. And it's not your fault. I know that. It's not your country's fault for the most part. It's simply for the fact that telecom companies do not have the resources that we have here in the United States. The United States is meant for data. We have all kinds of usage, from news outlets to entertainment to porn. We have all kinds of shit. You know where my next story is going. But anyway, We have the resources here. The Caribbean just doesn't have the resources or the needs to be able to put up the internet connections that we have here. So obviously, if you're on a wire connection, it's just not as strong as we have. I get it. If you're on Wi-Fi and it's clearly not as strong as what we have, I get it. I was in a hotel and I was sharing it with I don't know how many countless people in that fucking hotel, but essentially I was getting fucked over on that connection the entire time I was down there. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, that segues into the story that I referred to earlier, was that when I was down in the Caribbean, I was at something called the Rum and Food Festival, and I was at Oistins. For those of you who know what Oistins is without going to Google Maps, you will know exactly what country I was in. For those who go to Google, you'll be like, oh, now I see exactly where he was. Yes, then you'll fucking figure the shit out. But anyway, for those that know what Oistins is, you know that it's one big sort of festival party area on Friday nights. However, the Rum and Food Festival was occurring on Thursday, and I happened to go there. Bought my ticket, but it was way overpriced for the event itself. But essentially, we went there just to have fun. While I was there, the whole event was pretty much an outdoor festival where you pretty much sit at picnic tables or wherever it is. You sit down, you have some food, you have some rum, you sample whatever some of the vendors are selling to you. So you just sit down at any communal table. I sat down, the better half sits down next to me, and then another couple sits right across from us. Now, of course, I'm not the type to worry about like celebrities. I don't really pay attention. And the couple said hi, whatever. They were being very cordial. We said hello in return. As soon as I looked at the woman, it was like, where do I know her from? It wasn't immediate. It took me a while to kind of register who it was. But yes, this was a 90s porn star, late 90s porn star, who has been retired for a very long time. But I was able to recognize her simply because you just kind of know when you jacked off enough times to someone. Now, I played it off. I didn't play like I knew who she was. I didn't say anything. We just treated them like any other normal couple. I didn't stare at her. I talked to the guy. I talked to the woman. Talked to them, whatever the hell we talked about. We were just basically making small talk simply because we were sitting at the same table. Eventually, me and the better half, we went our separate ways, and I didn't say anything. Still haven't told the better half who that was, but I know exactly who that was. I don't want to blow up the lady's spot, because I know in today's social media world, people might go see if she has a Twitter or Instagram and all this other shit and say, hey, there was a guy who made a video that he saw you in this location and whatever the hell. I was like, yeah, no, I don't put people through that bullshit. I know exactly what that's like on social media, so I don't do it. I will just say, for those who might want to know who it is, I could share the details over at Prestige Gamers or the PG's clan chat, but it was a prolific porn star in the late 90s, and she got out of the game. Now, I still have not told the better half that, oh yeah, we sat across from a porn star, I knew exactly who she was, because imagine that fucking conversation. Oh, that's one awkward fucking conversation. But essentially, I didn't have to bother with that shit. And the funny thing is, if you guys would go put in her name in Pornhub, she always shows up in the fucking vintage section. So that makes you feel really fucking old at this point. But in any event, while I was down there in the Caribbean, I just got to say that that goddamn connection was fucking awful. And had that goddamn external drive not fucked up on me, I would have been able to show you a lot more clips in the background as opposed to just the normal gameplay that you're seeing right now. Now, what ended up happening with most of the time was I wasn't able to get on the majority of the middle of the day. So for any reason, we went on our excursions, enjoyed our day, got home early for whatever case is. You know, when you get home, you just want to get relaxed and get ready for dinner and whatnot. If I was trying to play at like 5, 6 o'clock, couldn't even log in. The connection was just not strong enough. The usage of the Wi-Fi was completely blasted to hell in the hotel. So basically at that point I was having to play some other bullshit that I had on my console because it was just utterly fucked up. There was just no way in hell I was going to be able to play everything that I wanted to play. People may also be wondering, why on the fucking earth would you bring your goddamn console to the Caribbean? Well, anybody that knows the Caribbean at this point knows it is the rainy season. Not every day down there was going to be a sunny day. And true enough, there were some days that were just completely lost to us. It was like complete rain, overcast, you name it. Sure, you can go out and do a couple things. But there were 2 days in particular where it just rained all day. You go outside, you're going to get drenched. That's the best way that I could describe it. You go sit on the beach for a couple seconds, you're going to get downpour. You could go sit outside under an umbrella, still going to get hit by sideways rain in a windy day. You basically lost out on 2 days. And we knew that going down there because this is the rainy season. When you know the Caribbean as well as we do, we knew exactly what we were heading into. So naturally, that's why I had my PlayStation with me, because I knew there were going to be days where I was going to have a lot of downtime. We also knew that we were going to be doing a lot of activities on certain days where we come back, we were just going to be absolutely wiped out. The better half, she falls asleep at like 9 o'clock every night. 9, 10 o'clock, she's passed out. Me, I'm a night owl. I prefer to stay up till 2, 3 o'clock at night or in the morning. and I don't prefer to wake up until at least 10 a.m. or whatever it is. Her, she's up like 7 a.m. Fuck that shit, man. 7 a.m., she's going to the beach, relaxing, stretching, doing all that shit. Fuck out of here, man. I'm on vacation. I want to sleep till like 10. That's my ideal vacation. So naturally, having the PlayStation there allowed us to have our different schedules simply because we're just two different people. She's a morning person, I'm a night owl. So we were able to have our own different downtimes, and knowing that there was going to be a rainy season, the console did come in handy. Now, as for the rest of this week, there are a whole bunch of games that came out, and mainly the big one has been Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, before I went on vacation, I told people if you have it, send me some videos for Hipfire commentaries. I haven't received shit. So I need some videos, guys. There's a whole bunch of shit that came out already. You had Spider-Man, you had Black Ops 4, Red Dead Redemption is obviously out there right now. Guys, send in your videos. Send in some shit. Show me your gameplay. I'll put the link in the description of where you can send your videos, of course. That way you can show them over at Prestige Gamers. People can double check them, make sure you're following the rules and whatnot, and then I'll be able to get back into Hipfire commentaries. This week, I'm still going to try and take some people through the raid. I know last week was a little difficult. I was a little sick last week. That was one of the problems. I just haven't fully recovered from my vacation. I've been having some issues that don't allow me to play for long periods of time. So far, even with experienced people, the raids have been lasting 3 hours plus, sherping an entire group. And that's with me in the room knowing what to do, but having to explain the raid mechanics to everybody on 5 different encounters, yeah, it takes a little bit of time. There's also a lot of learning factors that go involved in this. So I'm still going to try and continue to carry people through the raid this week. Probably not going to have as much time as I did last week, even though I was sick. But essentially, I'm going to still try to carry people this week. That's the story for the week. Get back to more videos during Wednesday and Friday. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video.